What's up? It's your boy Donovan, and welcome on into another Paint with me. Today I thought it would be fun to talk about some of the books and podcasts that I liked in 2021 while I go ahead and paint some of my star babies for you guys. So let's get right on into it. First up for podcasts is a really good one for lovers of film and especially lovers of Black film called The New Chitlin Circuit. It's hosted by Sid and Lex, whose observations about these films are as astute as they are comedic and entertaining. There are several films that they talked about that they really were putting me on to and that I ended up loving later on. I love to hear their very critical, but also quite fair, quite well thought out viewpoints of the themes in these films and the execution of the filmmaking. I think they have a really bright future ahead of them. This podcast is amazing. And they even sometimes have filmmakers, writers, directors of these films feature on the podcast and come on in and chat with them about their process. So that's also a treat. So definitely check that out if you like movies like I do. Another podcast that I have been obsessed with is Celebrity Memoir Book Club, hosted by comedians Claire and Ashley. And it definitely shows that these two are funny women because they are funny women. They read celebrity memoirs and then dissect the information in these memoirs. They don't take everything at face value. They break down what we know about these celebrities. They give it context, analyze, and interpret these celebrities the way that they see fit. Very hard-hitting, very funny, sometimes a little mean-spirited, but always honest. And I don't always agree, but I definitely get a kick out of all of these celeb stories, and also what celebs think people want to hear from them. One of the most recent ones was Will Smith's memoir, and my feelings weren't hurt because I already don't like him. But hearing them talk about his memoir made me hate him a lot. So if you don't want to be disillusioned about the celebrities that you love, definitely do not check out this podcast. But if you enjoy a little bit of mess, I would definitely recommend it. It's a very interesting process to watch these ladies break down these books, many of which I'm never going to read. So I'm glad that they did it for me. But there are also some books that they talk about that they gave such positive reviews I wanted to see for myself. One of those celebrity memoirs that I read was The Meaning of Mariah Carey. Through this memoir, I learned a lot about her that I did not know. I wouldn't consider myself a lamb. Obviously, I would know a lot more about her if I was, but I like her. I know she's a legend. I know she's an icon. I respect her legacy for sure. I know she owns Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I know the basics. I know what's important. But through this memoir, I feel like she really gave a lot. She was vulnerable. She talked about her childhood, which was really awful. And it actually made me really angry once I realized how mean the public has been to her at times and how targeted she's been, especially where her race is concerned and all these other things. It's just so strange and it upsets me. But I walked away loving her, when I was otherwise a little bit apathetic. So I think it was a really good memoir. The other celebrity memoir I read was Just As I Am by Cicely Tyson. And this one was not talked about on that podcast, but it was really good. Amazing. Cicely Tyson had such a rich life. I get the feeling that there was even more that she couldn't necessarily go into detail with. And that's always the case. You can't tell every single moment from your life story, but this is another person who I didn't know that much about her before reading this. And, I definitely learned so much about her story and came away, just like with Mariah Carey, feeling an immense respect for her career and for her journey and for her work. The thing that's interesting to me about Cicely Tyson is that she was a little older, I would say, when she really got started in her career versus Mariah Carey, who was very young when she was thrust into the public eye. And I love seeing both representations of those journeys. Lastly, I read Giovanni's Room. I was taking a public speaking class and giving a speech on James Baldwin. So I read Giovanni's Room in preparation for that speech. I would give it 4 stars. I would give it 4. I liked it. I definitely felt things. It pulled at my heartstrings. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely cried. And I wasn't even like reading it. I was listening to it on Audible. So I read it via audiobook. And yet somehow the narrator squeezed some tears out of me. And those have been my favorite podcasts and books of 2021. Thank you so much for watching this video. Here's the end result for these two paintings. I know which one is my favorite, but in the comments, let me know which one you like most. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And make sure you guys see me in the next one too, okay? Bye.